Hi dear students, welcome to a new lecture of Principle of Concrete Structure Design. This is lecture number 10 and we are continuing new chapter, chapter number 5. And we have completed the beam design and right now we will try to solve the design of slab. And this chapter we will study the complete design of slab. There are two types of slabs design, one-way slab and two-way slab. We will study all these things in this chapter. Before starting the new chapter number 5, if you have any question in the previous 4 chapters, you can ask me. Dear students, any one of you, if you have any question in the previous 4 chapters, please ask me. Mr. Bell, Mr. Bruce Wayne, any one of you, if you have any question, please ask me. Do you have any question, dear students? Any one of you? And the previous 4 chapters, if you have any confusion, you can ask me. Did you solve the numerical which I have given you as an homework? The beam design is a homework. Did you solve that homework? Mr. Bruce Wayne?
Not yet.
Not yet. Miss Alisa? Did you solve the homework?
No.
No. Mr. Bell? Did you solve the homework which I have given you in the previous 2 or 3 lectures? Mr. Mario?
Yes.
Did you solve the homework? No.
Sorry.
Did you solve the homework? Any one of you? Any student have solved the numerical which I have given you in the previous class? Numerical number 2, the beam design. Miss Grenda, did you solve it? Mr. Lord, Mr. John, Mr. Blues, any one of you, did you solve? It's very strange. Why you guys are not working at home? Please work at your home. If you are not doing work at your home, you will fail my course. It is not very easy to pass. If you want to pass, you have to solve. You have to do all the homeworks, you have to do all the assignments, you have to pass all the quizzes, then you will get good score in my course. Mr. Dragon, did you solve the numerical which I have given you in the previous lecture? No? Okay. Okay, let's, I am moving towards the next chapter. If you have anything that you didn't understood, you can ask me. Or even when you solve the numerical at home, please solve it. Okay, I request you, please solve it. When you solve the numerical, you will face some problems. You will face some difficulties. When you face the difficulties, then ask me. I will try to help you. Okay, dear students, please ask me. When you solve the numericals, you will face the difficulty and then you have to solve those difficulties with my support. I will try to support you. Okay, let's start the new chapter, chapter number 5. Chapter number 5 for principle of concrete structure design. The name of the chapter is design area elements of the structure. Design area elements of the structure. The content of this chapter are understand the slab and types of slabs. You need to understand the slab. What does it mean? What is slab actually? And what are the types of slabs? All these things will be studied here in this chapter. Basic concept of one-way slab, and then we have to design that one-way slab. And then I will give you the basic concepts of two-way slab, and then I will help you to design the two-way slab. Clear? You have to use this knowledge to solve your project. Did you remember what is your project? Your project is same like this one. There are 9 panels over here like this. This dimension is 60 feet and this dimension is also 60 feet. Clear? You have to design this project. It's a single story project. You have to design it. Clear, dear students? So please try to understand. If you cannot understand any part, any slide, any step, please ask me. Let's move towards the first topic, that is concrete slab. What is concrete slab actually means? It's a concrete slab is commonly a common structure element of modern buildings. It's a horizontal slab. It is drawn as horizontally of steel reinforced concrete slab. It's typically between 4 to 20 inches. The thickness of this slab is basically 4 to 20 inches. You can see this thickness is basically between 4 to 6 inches. Clear? Or in other words, in SI system, you can say that this thickness is basically equals to 100 to 500 millimeters. Okay, are most often used to construct floors and ceilings. We use this type of 4 to 20 inches thick slabs are used for floors and ceilings, while thinner slabs, the slabs whose thickness is smaller than that, then while thinner slabs are also used for exterior paving. These thicker slabs are used for floor and ceilings, and thinner slabs are used for exterior paving. Clear? Sometimes these thinner slabs ranges from 2 inches to 6 inches and dimension. Well, these thinner slabs thickness is ranges from 2 inches to 6 inches, and SI system, you can say that it ranges from 51 millimeter to 150 millimeter thick. And these slabs are also called as mud slabs, particularly when used under the main floor slab. When we are using this slab under the main floor slab, we can call it mud slab. Clear? This is the structure of a slab. You can see this part, this cutted part shows the slab reinforcement, concrete, the steel reinforcement which is embedded inside this slab, that is being shown in this cutted section. Clear? Concrete slab is a horizontal part of a structure which is the area element and which the area load is applied. Its thickness ranges from 4 to 20 inches thicker, and that type of slab is used for floors and ceilings. The thinner slabs which are used for mud slabs, which are also called as mud slabs, and which are provided under or near the main floor slabs, and its thickness ranges from 2 inches to 6 inches. Clear? There are 6 different types of slabs available. One-way slab isolated, two-way slab, one-way slab continuous, flat slab with no beams or girders, flat slab with wide supports, and grid or waffle slab. I will show you the pictures related to these slabs. One-way slab isolated. Remember that one-way slab isolated. Two-way slab, one-way slab continuous, flat slab with no beams or girders, flat slab with wide support, and grid or waffle slab. This is one-way slab in which the you can say that in which the bending is in only one direction. The bending that can occur in only one direction, that will be same. This is considered as one-way slab. Let me give you an example. I want to give you an example related to that. Let me find the paper. Okay, I found it. See, dear students, what's the difference between one-way and two-way slab? It is clearly mentioned here. The beams are supported. This is beam is supported and two edges. And two-way slab beams are supported in four edges, four sides. Clear? When beam is supported on two sides of the slab, that is called as one-way slab. When beam is supported on four sides of the slab, when we call as two-way slab. But there is few more differences available. If the bending occurs in only one direction, means the resistance will be, see, this is, I have a piece of paper in my hand. You can see this. If this bending is only one direction, the bending occurs in only one direction. The resistance of bending is applied in this horizontal direction, or you can say that in this longitudinal direction. The bending is applied on only shorter direction. You can see that the resistance is applied in shorter direction and bending can occur in longer direction. We can say that if only one, like longer or shorter only in one direction, this bending can be applying, then we can say that it's a one-way slab. If this bending can equally apply, can equally resist in one direction or in this direction, and this direction or in this direction, then we can say that it will be a two-way slab. If this bending can occur in only one direction of the slab, then we can say that it's a one-way slab. Clear? So the one-way slab can only be resisted with two beams, and two-way slab can only be resisted with four beams. This is the basic difference, but this is not sufficient. I will provide you few more differences, but on the later few slides. This is one-way slab continuous. You can see this one-way slab is in the continuous form. One more beam is provided, one more support is provided in the center of the slab. So this type of slab you can see from the cross-sectional dimension. Mr. Bell, can you understand? This is the cross-sectional dimension. This is the plane view. This is cross-sectional dimension, cross-section. The cross-sectional view of the slab is shown over here, and this is the dimension of the plane of the one-way slab continuous. This is the plane of one-way slab with no beams. You can see there is no beams available. The slab is directly supported by the columns. There is no support of beam available. You cannot find any beam over here. And this is the flat slab with wide supports. You can see the supports are quite wider. Flat slab with wide supports. And this type of slab is more stable in nature. If you provide more loads over here, then it will be more stable. This type of slab is more stable as compared to other one. Grid or waffle slab, you can see that if you provide the grids inside a slab, then we can say that it's a grid or waffle slab. the cross-sectional dimension can be viewed to easily demonstrate. For the demonstration of grid or waffle slave, the cross-sectional dimension is also provided and the plane is also provided. You can easily imagine what type of slave is it. While now design of reinforced slave. How can we design the reinforced slave? There are, first of all, you need to identify that your slab is one way or two way. How can we identify it? Because of only one thing that is available. If your LB to LA ratio is greater than or equal to 2, we can say that it's a one-way slab. If this LB or LA ratio is less than 2, then it is two-way slab. What does LB and LA means? This is a slab. The longer dimension will be called as LB and the shorter dimension will be called as LA. Clear? If LB divided by LA is greater or equal to 2, then we can say that this is a one-way slave. And if this is less than 2, then we can say it's a two-way slave. I will provide you some examples for it. Or what do you think if I provide you like the dimension like 15. This is 30 meter and this is 15 meter, for example. What type of slab is it? One way or two way? Mr. John. Mr. John. Mr. Bruce Wayne, can you please answer me? What type of slab is it? If LB is 30 meter and LA is 15 meter, is this will be a two-way or one-way?
Two-way.
Two-way.
Yeah. Oh, one way. It's
30
I didn't
divided
see
by
it clearly.
equals to
One way. It's one way.
by 15, which will gives you the answer which is equals to 2.
Two.
So
Yeah.
if the value is equals to 2, then it is a one-way slab. If this dimension is, for example, 30 meter is same, and this dimension is, for example, 20 meter, then what will be the slab type? Mr. Bell, if LB is 30 and LA is 20 meter, you don't know. Mr. Dragon, where are you?
I'm here. Two-way slab.
It is two-way slab. Mr. Bell, 30 divided by 20 will gives you the answer like 1.25. 1.5, which gives you the answer is whatever the answer is, which is less than 2. If your answer is less than 2, then we can say that it will be a two-way slab. Clear? If the ratio is less than 2, then your answer, if this ratio is less than 2, then we can say that it will be a two-way slab. If this ratio is greater than or equal to 2, then we can say that it will be a one-way slab. Clear? Any confusion? Okay. Let's read what is written here. A one-way slave needs moment resisting reinforcement only and its shorter direction. As written here, moment resisting reinforcement is only and its shorter direction, because the moment along long axis is so small that is can be neglected. When the ratio of the length of long direction to the short direction of the slave is greater than 2 or equal to 2, it can be considered as one-way slave. Long direction will always be LB and short direction will always be LA. Clear? And two-way slave needs moment resisting reinforcement in both directions. When we are talking about moment resisting reinforcement, then you need to provide it both the direction, even in x-axis and also in y-axis. Well, if the ratio of the lengths of long and short side is less than 2, then moment in both the directions should be considered for the design. Means LA to LB ratio is less than 2, then you have to consider the moments in both the directions. This is the basic difference between one-way and two-way slave. One-way slave is supported by beams and two sides. One-way slave is supported by beams and two sides, but two-way slave is supported by beams and four sides. Clear? And one-way slave, beams supporting beams are provided and only two sides, and two-way slave beams are provided and four sides of the slave. The ratio of longer span to the shorter span, like LB or L, whatever you can give the names, like L divided by LB is equal or less than 2, then if is equal or greater than 2 will be equals to one-way slave. If this ratio is less than 2 will be as considered as two-way slave. Main reinforcement provided in only one direction for one-way slave. Main reinforcement is provided in only one direction. We have to provide main reinforcement in one direction. In this case, main reinforcements are provided in both the direction and two directions. Clear? What does actually one-way slave means? It is again the definition. You can see this bending will be in only one direction. You can see the bending can happen in only one direction. A slave is a one-way slave when a slave is supported on two edges and bends in only one direction, as you can see here. What do you think about this slave? When I am watching this slave, just consider it, this picture. What do you think? Whether it's a one-way slave or two-way slave? Mr. Bell. What do you think about this picture? Either it is a one-way slave or two-way slave?
I think it's two-way slave.
Okay. But if physically you can say it's a two-way slave, because the beams are on four sides. You can see the beams are on four sides. But if the dimension is like this, like if this dimension, the longer span is 20 meter and shorter span is 10 meter, 20 divided by 10 is equals to 2. If the ratio is equals to 2, then what we can say? It's a one-way or two-way?
One.
It's a one-way slave. If it depends, means both the conditions should be satisfied. And the most important, this condition. You have to satisfy this condition. This one. You have to find out the ratio, that either it is less than, equal or greater than 2. If it is greater than or equal to 2, we can say it's a one-way. If it is less than, then it is two-way slave. Okay, you have to identify the slave by just division of this ratio, L to B ratio. Clear? So even written, it is also written here, when even when a rectangular slab is supported by on all the four edges, means beams are supported on all the four sides, the slab may be considered as one-way slab. Why? If the length to breadth ratio of the slab is equal or greater than 2. As you can see over here, if this ratio, you can see all the beams are provided on four sides, but the ratio is equal to 2. If it is equal to 2 or greater than 2, then we can say that it will be considered as one-way slab. A one-way slab is designed for the spanning direction alone. The main tension reinforcement bars of such slab run parallel to the span for the transverse direction. A minimum amount of shrinkage reinforcement is provided. This is just the background for the designing. If you all are ready, then let's try to solve the first numerical of slab, one-way slab. The data which is given to you: design a one-way slab if concrete compressive strength is 4 ksi, steel grade is 60 ksi, live load is 220 psf, dead load is slab self-weight. There is no dead load available. The external dead load is not available. You have to consider the self-weight of the slab. Span of the slab equals to 10 feet. Assume any missing data. And remember this thing, whenever we are designing, this is your slab. This is the physical demonstration of this one-way slab. And this slab, you have to see that either you have to clarify that whenever designing a slab, you have to consider a 1 feet strip. We are not designing the complete slab. Can you see this shaded part? You have to assume, you have to imagine, or you have to design only 1 feet strip. We have to design this 1 feet strip, and then this complete design will be considered for the whole slab. So, in simple words, what we will do, we will design this 1 feet strip, this strip. Clear? We have to design this strip, this 1 feet strip which I am highlighting. We will design this strip, and we will consider that this is the complete slab design. Okay, and for this we have assumed that the span of the slab is 10 feet, and this strip, we have assumed this strip, this is our assumption, that we have assumed this strip about 12 inches, means the B value is equals to the small b value, the strip small b value is equals to 12 inches, and this is the span length, or you can see that, say that length of the slab is equals to 10 feet. L is equals to 10 feet and B is equals to 12 inches. FC prime is 4 ksi, Fy is 60, live load 220, dead load slab self-weight, and span length, span of the slab is 10 feet. This is the given data. Do you have any question in this data? Any one of you? If you are not understanding the data, you cannot solve the numerical. First, try to understand the numerical data. Did you understand what is given to you? Mr. Bell, Mr. Dragon, Mr. Bruce Wayne, William, Cyrus, Park, any one of you, if you have any confusion in this data, you can ask me. Do you have any confusion in this data? If you have any confusion in this data, you can ask me. See what is given in this numerical. Let me repeat once again. The compressive strength of concrete is 4 ksi. Yielding strength of steel is 60 ksi. Live load is 220 pounds per square feet. Dead load is the self weight of the slab. span length. The slab span length is equals to 10 feet, which is available here. You can see. We have to assume a strip for the design, and that strip is 12 inches. We always have to assume this strip equals to 12 inches. So small b value is equals to 12 inches. This is the given data. Do you have any confusion? Any one of you? Mr. Bell? Mr. Dragon?
How to calculate the slab self-weight, please?
Slab self-weight. What is your weight?
Pardon?
What is your weight? I am 70 kilogram. My weight is 70 kilogram. You can be, I guess, according to your body type, I guess you must be about 55 or under 60 kg. Self weight of the slab means what is its own weight. Like you can you see the, you can see my mobile phone. It is it is a mobile phone. It has some weight. When I hold it in my hand, it has some weight. So like this, if it is a slab, then it must have a weight. You have to find out that weight. The dead load is the self weight of the slab, its own weight. If it is a slab, then what is the weight of that slab? We have to calculate it. So let's try to move towards numerical. If you have any confusion in the data, you can ask me. If there is no confusion, then let's solve the numerical. First of all, try to make it clear. The slab must have a fixed thickness and its effective depth. Did you remember what does effective depth means? Mr. Dragon, did you remember what is effective depth? How can we calculate?
The number divide 8.
No.
Huh?
See, effective depth can be calculated by, see on the board. If you remember, I have drawn, see on this board, if this is a beam, these are its longitudinal reinforcements. If I want to calculate this is H, what will be D? D will be from the center of the steel. Did you remember?
Yeah.
Effective depth is from top to the center of the steel. So in the same case, in case of slab, we will again do the same thing. Listen, again we will do the same thing. Like this is complete H, you can see here, and this picture. See this picture which I have encircled. This is complete thickness is H. What will be D? D will be from the top surface to the center of the steel. This will be effective depth. So let's assume that D is equals to H minus 1 inch. We assume that D is equal, we don't know H value. So first of all, let's assume D is equals to H minus 1 inch. Understand? And how can we calculate H? H can be calculated from this table is available in chapter 13 of Nelson's book, the book which I have referred you in the start of the book which I referred you in first chapter, if you remember. Let me show you. Over here you can see. And chapter number 13 of Nelson book, Design of Concrete Structures, B.H. Nelson, David Darwin and Charles W. Dolan, and chapter number 13, you can find that table. Okay, if you want to find out, if you want to study that table, you can find on chapter number 13, it is mentioned here. Clear? And this chapter, table number 13.1, you can see the minimum thickness H of non-pre-stressed one-way slab. If the slab is simply supported, then H is equals to L by 20. If the slab is one end continuous, then its thickness can be calculated as L by 24. If the both end continuous, then L is 20, L divided by 28. And cantilever slab will be L divided by 10. This is slab, this is our slab. This is slab is the simply supported slab. And this slab, we can say that it is a simply supported slab. It's a simply supported slab. Our slab is simply supported slab. So that's why I am using L divided by 20. So H minimum will be equals to L divided by 20. What does the L value? L is equals to 10 feet. Understand? L is equals to 10 feet. 10 divided by 20 multiply by 12. Why I have multiplied it with 12? Can anyone answer me? Mr. Bell, why I have multiplied it with 12?
Transfer the units.
Yes, for the transferring of unit, my unit is over here is feet. You can see it is feet, 10 feet. I want the answer in inches, so that's why I multiply with 12. 10 divided by 20 multiplied by 12, which gives you the answer. So H is equals to, basically H minimum is 6 inches. So D will be calculated as, you can find out the D is equals to 6 minus 1 from this equation. You can see here from this equation it is sorry, I didn't notice that the time was completed, that's why it is disconnected automatically. Okay, listen. Effective depth can be calculated by H minus 1. This is our assumption. And H minimum can be calculated from this table. The formula is available here. L divided by 20. Clear? By calculating L divided by 20, L divided by 20 will gives you the answer that is equals to 6 inches by multiplying with 12 inch. Okay, this is our strip, and in this strip the thickness is 6 inches. Just put this 6 over here, 6 minus 1, so the effective depth equals to 5 inches. So the D value that is equals to 5 inches. This is effective depth value. Now you need to calculate the dead load. Mr. Draken, try to understand. You need to calculate the self weight of the slab. How can we calculate the self weight of the slab? Self weight of the slab can be calculated by density unit weight of the concrete multiplied by the volume. Unit weight of the concrete multiplied by the volume, you will get the answer and dead load in the form of kips actually. But I need the answer that my live load is PSA, pound per square feet. So that's why I need the answer and kip per feet. That's why I am not taking the volume. I am just taking two dimensions of it. That 150 is the unit weight of the concrete. Gamma concrete is, as I told you, gamma concrete is always, we have used it in our beam calculation. The gamma concrete is equals to 150. B value is 12 inches means 1 feet. Okay. And D value, this H value is 6 inches. 6 divided by 12 equals to 0.5 feet. So 0.15 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 0.5, which gives the answer 0.075 kip per feet. Did you understand? Any confusion in this step? Mr. Dragon?
No, I don't know. Pardon.
Try to understand. See, dead load can be calculated by density multiplied by volume. Density value is 150. B value is 12 inches. Okay, this is 12 inches and H value is 6 inches. So when you multiply these values together, you will get the answer 0.075 kip per feet. Clear? And live load is given over here, that is 220 pounds per square feet. So 220, while we multiply, the live load is for one strip. If we want to calculate it for one strip, that 0.22 multiplied by 1 feet, because this strip is equals to, B value is equals to 1 strip. So 1 feet will be multiplied with the live load, which gives you the answer 0.22 kip per feet. So our units are same, kip per feet, which are same. So that's why we can calculate WU. WU can be, the factored load can be calculated by this formula: 1.2 dead load plus 1.6 live load. Now you have the dead load value, that is equals to 0.075. Live load value is 0.22. Just put the values over here and you will get the answer 0.442 kip per feet. Now you can use this WU value, this value, to calculate the factored moment. The formula of factored moment is WU L² divided by 8. WU value is 0.442. L square, the length of the strip is 10 feet. So that's why L value is 10 divided by 8. You will get the answer and 5.525 kip feet. I need this answer and kip inches, so I have multiplied it with 12. So when I multiply it with 12, then I will get the answer. That answer will be in the form of kip inches. Clear? This is my answer of MU, which is in the form of kip inch. Now I can calculate the steel ratio. Steel ratio can be calculated by this formula, that rho required is equals to 0.85 FC prime over Fy 1 minus under square root 1 minus 2 factored moment 0.85 pi FC prime BD square. FC prime value is 4, Fy value is 60. All these values are given. 4, 60. Clear? MU value is calculated here. You can see over here. Phi value from the table which we have used for strength reduction factor. Phi value is 0.9. FC prime again, that is 4. B value, as I told you, small b value is 12 inches, and D value is actually 5 inches. So 5 inch square, 5 multiplied by 5 is means 5 square. Just put these values together and just solve it on a calculator. You will get the answer of rho required, that is equals to 0.00425. If you have the value of rho steel ratio, then we can calculate the area of steel. Area of steel can be calculated by this formula, the main reinforcement formula, which we have used for the beam design too, that rho multiplied by BD. Rho value is 0.00425, which is available here. B value is 12, which is given to you and this question, that is 12 inches, and D value, which we have calculated, that is equals to 5 inches. Clear? Just put these values together, 0.002425 multiplied by 12 and 5, you will get the answer, that is equals to 0.255 inch square. This is the main reinforcement area of steel for the main reinforcement. AS value for main reinforcement is this one. You can see these circles indicates the main reinforcement, and this bar, this will indicate the temperature reinforcement. And for temperature reinforcement, and the table number 2 of chapter number 13 and the same book of concrete structure design, which is written by H. Nilsson, the values for the slab were, which we are using for our design, that is 60 grade deform bars are being used. You can see over here we have used 60 grade steel bars. If the bars are 60 grade, then we have to use this formula, 0.0018 into BH. Clear? If your formula, if your grade is 40 grade or 50 grade, then you have to use 0.0020. So temperature steel that will be used is 0.0018 BH. So 0.0018 multiplied by B value is 12 and H value, which we have calculated over here, that H value is, H minimum value is 6 inches. Clear? So just put the values, that will be the answer of temperature reinforcement. Now you have two values. This is your main reinforcement, this is your temperature reinforcement, and there is spacing between these two bars. This is spacing. The spacing between this bar and this bar should not be more than, it is mentioned here, should not be more, the minimum spacing should be 3H. What does 3H means? 3 multiplied by H, which is same as, means we can say that this is 3 multiplied by H is 18 inches, which is, say that we have to use the maximum spacing, the 18. We cannot increase this spacing more than 18. And for temperature steel, it is minimum requirement is 5H. If this 5H is greater than 18, then you have to select the 18. For example, 5 multiplied by 6, which gives you the answer, that is 30 inches. So we cannot use 30. We have to select this 18. This is the limit, final limit. So S maximum is 18, and S maximum for main steel is also 18 inches. Temperature steel also 18 inches, and for maximum steel, for the main steel, the maximum spacing is again 18 inches. So from this table we have to select the values. This is the table which is available, table A3, which is appendix. This table is available in appendix A3 and the book same concrete structure design of written by H. Nilsson. And this table you can find the number of bars and the spacing of those bars. This is the bar number, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Clear? And this is the spacing between these bars. Now please help me. Mr. Dragon, please help me. The main steel value is 0.255. The main steel value is 0.255. So in this table, can you please find where is 0.255?
Let me search it.
You can a little increase, but you cannot increase more. So the difference should not be very much. You can select any value, any quite near to 0.255. Any value that must be near to 0.255.
Spacing in 5 inch 3.
Where?
0.26.
It's available here. This one.
Spacing in 5.
Spacing is 5. Okay. You are selecting this one. Spacing is 5 inches and the bar size is. This is your selection. Yes, it is 100% correct. You can do it. But I will suggest for the main steel reinforcement, when we are providing main steel reinforcement, then I will suggest you for main steel reinforcement, don't need to provide this one. I will try to suggest you that provide 4 number bar. Bar size should be 4 and the value that is 0.26 and the spacing will be 9 inches. This is my suggestion. If you want to select this one, 3, 0.26, 5, this is also correct. This is not wrong. Your answer is 100% correct. But for the best of my knowledge, I will suggest you to use for the main reinforcement number 4 bar and select the same area and spacing should be 9 inches. Clear? Your answer is also 100% correct. If you select number 3, 0.26 and 5 inch and your exam paper, your answer will be 100% correct. You will get complete marks. If your answer is 3, this and this is also 100% correct. If a student selected 4, 0.26 and 9, his answer will also be correct. Okay. And now please Mr. Who will help me? Where's Mr. Bell? Can I find him? Mr. Fario, you should help me, please. Now, and the next step, try to find 0.1296. Try to find this value and this table, 0.1296. Yeah. For temperature steel, this is your main steel. For main steel, I have provided
how about 0.13?
For main steel, I have provided these values. I have selected this and this. Clear, the green part, this is my main steel. And now for temperature steel, you need to use this value, 0.1296. Where is 1296? Mr. Fario, please help me.
So I mean, how about the 0.13?
Yes, 0.13 is the correct answer. Where is it?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's very closely.
Yes, it is very close to our value. So I am selecting 0.13. The temperature reinforcement is number 3 bar and the spacing will be 10 inches. This red shaded line means this red highlighting is temperature reinforcement. You can see in this diagram, the main reinforcement is number 4 bar at 9 inch center to center. You can see the main reinforcement is number 4 bar at 9 inch center to center. The value which we have selected 0.26 and this table. So the main reinforcement which I am providing over here, this circle lines, these circles means the main reinforcement. You have to create this type of diagram and your exam paper. So this is the steel. The main reinforcement is number 4 at the rate of 9 inch center to center. This is main reinforcement. Clear? And the temperature reinforcement, as we have selected from here, number 3 bar at the rate of 10 inch center to center. Can you see that? This is number 3 bar at the rate of 10 inch center to center. This is number 3 bar at the rate of 10 inch center to center. So I am providing number 3 bar for at the rate of 10 inch center to center, and this is the actually temperature reinforcement. What does this mean? This is temperature reinforcement. This horizontal are the main reinforcement. The span between the span of this slab, that is 10 feet, and the thickness of this slab which we have calculated, that is 6 inches. All these things should be provided when you want to construct as this thing should be constructed on the site, construction site. You have to provide this type of drawing. If you provide this type of drawing to the labor, then labor can easily understand that how the engineer want to construct the slab. So if you have any question in this complete question, you can ask me. My question is completed here. Mr. Reagan, Mr. Eric, William, John, Frank, any one of you, if you have any question, please ask me. Anything? Yes,
Why the concrete density is 150? How will the density of concrete be affected?
The density of the concrete or unit weight of the concrete is always equals to 150. 150 kilogram per cubic meter. 150, it is available. If you want to find out the unit weight of the concrete, the unit weight of the concrete will always be equal, which is used in our previous questions of beam design. We have still used 150 as the unit weight of the concrete. Unit weight of the concrete is pounds per cubic feet, and you can also say that it is being equals to 1 if you divide it by 1000, so you can say that, let me explain on the board. See over here, gamma concrete can always be equals to 150 pounds per cubic feet. Clear? And if I want this concrete should be in the form of kilopound, then it will be divided by 1000. When you divide by 1000, it will be equal to 0.15 means kilopounds per cubic feet. I am using this value and you will measure. It is always being equal to 150. And what is the unit weight of the soil? Gamma soil is always being equal to 120 pounds per cubic feet. This is unit weight of soil. We will use this value when we are solving the footing design. But in over here we are using the unit weight of the concrete. Unit weight of the concrete or density of the concrete is 150 pounds per cubic feet. Clear, Mr. Dragon?
If I add more steel bars in the concrete, the density of concrete be affected.
Yes. Because this is just the unit weight of the concrete. This is just the density of the concrete. I am not talking about the embedded steel. This is not reinforced concrete. This is pure plain concrete. Inside it, cement, sand, water, plus force aggregate. Only this thing is there inside it. There is no steel present. Cement, sand,
Yes.
water, and aggregate. This is the plain concrete unit weight. This is for the plain concrete. And real world, we are not talking about the reinforced concrete. We are just taking the unit weight of the concrete. Actually, we don't know. And the starting of the question, we don't know that how much steel will be inside it. And this step, when we are solving this dead load, do you know at this step that what will be the steel ratio inside the concrete? No, we don't know. This is head to tail method. When we are solving all these steps, and after few moments, when we calculate this rho required, then we can know that the steel inside this slab, that steel, the main reinforcement area will be, and this complete area, the main reinforcement will be 0.255 inch square, and temperature reinforcement will be 0.1296 inch square. This is the steel. Now you know that, but in the starting we don't know this, so that's why we cannot say that this is the mixture of steel inside the concrete. Steel is not available at that time, so that's why this is the pure unit weight. The density is 100% pure for concrete, no steel reinforcement inside it. Clear?
Yes, I see. Thank you.
Obviously, when you add steel or when you add any admixture inside it, in the concrete, the unit weight, the density will be changed. Density will be affected when you add different things inside the concrete. Well, any other student, anyone have any question? If you have any question, please ask me. Mr. David, Mr. Forio, if you have any question, please ask me. No questions? Mr. Bell, do you have any question? Anything that you didn't understood? Mr. Charlie, Mr. Joe, Mr. Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, do you have any question?
No, I have no question.
Okay.
No question, no question.
Okay, Elisa, do you have any question? Anything that you didn't understood in this numerical? Miss Elisa.
No question.
Okay. Well, that's good that if you have understood this numerical in the first step. This is the second numerical that you have to solve this numerical at home. This is the second numerical. This is your homework. And this numerical, few things are different. The FC prime is the concrete compressor strength is 3 KSI. Fy is 40 KSI. Live load is 180 PSF. Dead load is over here 70 PSF plus self weight of the slab. And span length is 11 feet. assume any missing data. You have to solve it. Remember this thing. If and next question, when you are solving this temperature reinforcement, this temperature steel, you have to use 0.0020 for 40-degree grade steel, because this is 40-degree grade steel, 40-degree concrete. So you have to use this formula. Your formula should be looking like temperature steel will be calculated as 0.0020 multiplied by BH. Clear? And this question you have to find out temperature steel by this formula, and all other things will be same. And one more thing that is new, that when you are solving this dead load and for the next numerical, this dead load, if this is your dead load, self weight of the beam, this is self weight of the, for example, slab, plus 70 psi for next numerical. For example number 2, you have to add 70 psi, means this 70 psi plus self weight of the slab. Clear? You have to solve it by like this. And span length is and the first numerical, the span length is 10 feet, and second numerical it is 11 feet. Can you solve this numerical at home? Yes, any one of you, if you have any question in this data, in this next numerical, please ask me. I am available now. I've explained everything. Mr. Bruce Van, if you have any confusion in this example number 2, I didn't solve it. This is quite same, I didn't solve it. Can you see there is no solution available in PPT for this numerical? You have to solve this numerical at home. Example number 2, this is your homework. Only a few data is changed, like FC prime is 3 KSI, Fy is 40 KSI, live load is 180 PSF, dead load is 70 PSF plus slab self weight, span length is 11 feet. Assume any missing data. The same technique, you have to use a 1 foot strip and then solve this numerical. Only one thing will be changed, that when you are solving the numerical for 40 grade steel, the temperature steel formula will be changed. And the previous question we have solved it by 0.0018 BH, but over here it is 0.0020 BH. Can you see here? For 60 grade steel it is 0.0018, and for 40 grade and 50 grade steel you have to use 0.0020. Clear? Any confusion, any question? Mr. Fario, Mr. Dragon. If you have any question in this numerical example number 2, please ask me. Mr. Bell. Can you solve it? Mr. Bruce Van. Mr. Dragon.
If I meet some problem, I will ask you in the WeChat.
Okay. Dear students, please try to solve it at your home. Please work on it. Don't be lazy. If you are not understanding any step, any problem, please ask me. I will help you. I will provide you a best support to understand these numericals. If you understand these numericals, you can work on your project. So try to solve it first and then work on your project. Clear? Then one more thing. let's discuss one more thing, that see on the board. Let me explain. This is your project, if you remember. These are the panels of the slab. This dimension is 60 feet. This dimension is again 60 feet, right? Can you please tell me, Mr. Dragon or Mr. Bruce friend, can you please tell me, if I consider this small part of the slab, this slab part, this dimension will be 20 feet, this dimension will be 20 feet. Can you please tell me, this panel is what? It's a one-way or two-way?
Two-way.
It's a two-way slab because LB, this is LB, this is LA. So LB divided by LA equals to what? Means 20 divided by 20 equals to 1, which is less than 2. If one, the answer is this ratio is less than 2, then what we can say? This is what? This is always being considered as two-way slab. So your project will be completely, all these slabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These 9 slabs are two-way slabs. Clear? Your project is completely a two-way slab. You have to design your project as two-way slab problem. Let's discuss about two-way slab. What is and how can we design a two-way slab? For example, related to two-way slab, we will start our numerical in the next class, but I want to discuss about the analysis and design of two-way slab system. Behavior of two-way slab can be noted down as by this formula, that if long span is divided by shorter span, if this is less than 2, then it will be a two-way slab. So you can say that, or you can find out it over here. This is longer span dimension and this is the shorter way span dimension. So 25 divided by 20 is equals to what? Yes, dear students. This 25 divided by 20 is equals to what? What will be the answer? The answer is 1.25, which is less than 2. So it means this slab is equals to two-way slab. Or you can say this is one-way slab behavior and two-way slab behavior. This is the demonstration, or the pictures are taken from the software SAP and ETABS, which we will study in the next course and the next semester. All right, now this is the manual designing and the gravity design. So you have to just know about it, and in the next course I will explain and I will discuss you that you have to design this everything on the software which is being used in the next course. Well, this is a two-way bending of two-way slave system. You can see the bending will be in two-way direction, both the directions. The moments are being catered. You can see the moments. This is longer span. Let me mark it. This line is longer span, and this side is shorter span. So short direction moments in two-way slave, you can see the moments are moving towards the shortward direction, and long direction in two-way slave, you can see the moment are moving in two-way direction. Like this circle, this ellipsoid direction is shorter direction. You can see it is about in the shorter, moving towards the shorter direction. This direction is shorter one, so it's moved towards the shorter direction. And a long direction moment, it moves towards the long direction. You can see this ellipsoid half part is towards this long direction, and half part towards this long direction. So we can say that the moment's behavior will be look like in two-way slave. One moment will be in this direction, and one moment will be in this direction. This direction moment means it is in the longer direction. This direction moment means it is in the shorter direction. Clear? And more demand moment in short direction due to size of the slave means del central slave. The del at this center, at this point, the del value can be calculated as 5/384 WL4 divided by EI, where EI is the modulus of elasticity and I is basically the moment of inertia. As these imaginary strips are part of monolithic slab, the deflection at any point of the two orthogonal slave strips must be same. If it is in the center, then the two orthogonal slabs, the deflection will be equals to same. The del A will be equals to del B. So similarly, both the formulas will be equals to one another. If we rearrange this equation by cutting this part and this part together, so we will, the remaining equation will be as WA or WB equals to LB4 divided by LA4. Well, your call will be disconnected within few seconds. Please join the call again, and then I will mark your attendance, and we will also discuss this slide. Please join the call again. The 40 minutes are over. If you have any question, please ask me. In the meantime, if you have any question, please ask me. So, listen, if the deflection is at the center, then this deflection will be for both the orthogonal slave strips. This deflection will be equals. For means if you are considering both the strips like LA and LB, so it will be quite same. The deflection for slave 1 will be equals to deflection of slave 2. So this formula will be equals to one another, like del A is equals to del B. So put this formula with respect to A and B and rearrange this equation for small WA. Thus, larger share of load demand is taken by the shorter direction. Larger share of load demand is taken by the shorter direction, as you can see over here. Shorter direction, this A means shorter direction and B means longer direction. And the moment coefficient method will be used in the solution of the next numerical of two-way slave. We will discuss all these things and this moment coefficient method and the next lecture. If you have any question and this one-way slab design, you can ask me. Even I will repeat this two-way slab design from the starting and the next class. If you have any question and the one-way slab design, please ask me. Dear students, if you have any question and this one-way slab design, please ask me. Mr. Bell, Bruce Wayne, any one of you, Miss Glenda, Mr. Barry, if you have any question, please ask me. And then I will mark your attendance. I'm waiting for the students so that they can join, and then I will mark your attendance. Right now, 71 students are present. Mr. Dragon, do you have any question?
Maybe not.
Not yet, okay. The students who have any question, they can ask me. Mr. Charlie, if you have any question, please ask me.
No, I have no question.
Okay. Miss Ariel and Miss Glenda, Miss Erica, if anyone of you have any question, please ask me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine.
Mr. Fario, do you have any question? If you have any question, please ask me.
No, thank you. I'm fine.
Okay, let me mark your attendance, dear students. Please wait for a while. And after that, you all will be free from my side. Well, dear students, this is lecture number 10 of Principle of Concrete Structure Design. The chapter number 5, which we have started right now. I am marking your attendance for lecture number 10. Please wait for a while. Right now, 75 students are present now. Well, dear students, the attendance have been marked. If you have any question, you can ask me. If no question, then see you in the next class. Bye-bye, dear students.